Create 6.0 update just released, and with it, a lot of new blocks and amazing mechanics, but also a long list of features that might feel overwhelming at first. So let me give you a comprehensible showcase of all the new toys we are getting for our factories. Starting with the new core mechanic, the packages. The idea is quite simple. We have a new block called the packager, which will connect to any inventory attached to it. When it receives a redstone signal, it will package up to 9 stacks of items from said inventory, leaving a cute little package with its contents. Alternatively, if the packager receives a package, it will unpack it into its connected inventory. That leaves us to the next feature, the packages themselves. As Minecraft mechanics go, they count both as items and entities. They can be stored into any block within inventory. They can be moved by belts, chutes, and anything that Create has to offer. If we shift right-click with the package in hand, it will empty its contents into our inventory. Or we can place them on the ground with right-click where they can be pushed around like with any other entity. And as a new feature in this update, they can be moved by the chain conveyor. The chain conveyor is a new block that can be placed down, but by itself does nothing. With a chain in hand, we can create a line between them, just like with normal belts. And just like with belts, we need at least one of them to have a rotation. This can be used to move packages as we have seen before. Or you can right-click on the chain with a wrench as a form of transportation. Each conveyor chain block can be connected to several lines for more complex logistics. Which leads us to the next block, the package frog port. This cute froggy is able to place packages on the chain or to pick them up for further logistics. To do that, we simply have to right-click the chain with the frog port in hand and place it down nearby. Renaming the frog port will serve as the address of it, so the package knows where to go. To set that up, we need a couple of simple things. First, we want a packaging setup like before, with a sign on the packager. Setting up a word on the sign will write an address to the packages made with it. To insert the package into the system, we feed it to any of the frog ports connected to the conveyor chain. If the address of the package doesn't match with the address of the frog port, it will place the package into the chain to be moved along the line. Once the package reaches a matching frog port, it will get picked up and stored onto it. That package can then be extracted and moved by normal Create means. In the case of no matching frog ports being in the system, the package will simply stay on the first conveyor chain it reaches until a matching frog port is placed down. The package post box does the exact same thing, but it works within train networks, either receiving or sending packages if they match with the box's address or not. One manual way to send a package is with the use of an item hatch. You can attach it to a frog port and simply right-click on it with a package in hand. The frog port will place it into the chain as usual. The hatch can also be used on any inventory block to deposit any items into it. Of course, Create is all about automation, and this can also be automated. For that, we can use 2 new items, the stock link and the factory gauge. The stock link has 2 functions. First, it can read the contents where it's attached. And secondly, it can both emit those contents into other components in the same network, as well as receive requests from within the network. The factory gauge, on the other hand, it's all about requesting items from within the network that it's attached to. For this to work, we want to first place down a stock link at the packager where our items will be. Then we place the factory gauge on the receiving packager. Here, we want to set the item we want to request, as well as the address for this packager. For this example, we are going to request that the receiving vault has at least 32 planks at all times. Because it has no planks, it immediately sends a signal to the barrel source to send the materials over. Something to keep in mind is that if we are using frog ports to move the packages around, the receiving factory gauge will need to have the same address as the local frog port, otherwise the package won't be able to exit the conveyor chain. If they match, it should be able to work without issue, and it will eventually reach its destination. Now that the planks are in the vault, we need a way to access them, and for that, we have the new stock ticker. Like before, it requires to be connected to a stock link and a packager to be able to request any items. Then we will need to place a seat next to it and attach the mob of our choosing. A blaze burner also works. That will immediately link it to the stock ticker, so if we right-click on the mob, it should display a list of the items in the network. Requesting an item will send a signal to the stock link containing said item. In our case, there is just one, which will send the items via the packager as usual. Another way of requesting items is via the Redstone requester. We can set what items and amounts we want to request with it, as well as to what address they should be sent. The difference is that this one will request the items every time a Redstone signal is sent. To help with logistics, we also have the new package filters, where you can set an address to place in any filter slot, so only matching packages will go through. One last mechanic I'm going to showcase are the shops added into this update. Like before, we want to start with a packager and a stock link as the delivery system, then a stock ticker and a mob as the requesting system. We have this new item called the tablecloth that can be used to display up to 4 items into it. We can also right-click the mob we just set up to configure a shop. Here we can set the item we want to sell and the amount of it. We can also set an address in case that was necessary to bring the item over. With that done, we can place down the tablecloth with our newly set trade. All it's left to do is to add a price in the slot at the front of it. Holding right-click on it will allow us to set the amount. Any customer can right-click the tablecloth to receive a shopping list, which will contain a single trade of what we just set up. If they continue to right-click, it will increase the number of trades until the stock limit is reached. Right-clicking with the shopping list on the mob will trigger the exchange, taking the payment from your inventory and delivering the items we just purchased. I think it's a really cool system, but so is everything else added in this update. All of it looks amazing, and I can't wait to make a new server to play with all my supporters and mess around with packages and more packages. Let me know in the comments if I missed any important functionality of the new update, and tell me what mechanic are you most excited about from this new update. I love logistics, so literally everything looks amazing. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this showcase helped understanding all of the new additions of the update, and I will see you all in the next video with likely more logistics and new farms.